Hey guys, what's up? Time for another video. I'm gonna show something really basic here, just so we have this covered, because I'm pretty sure that there's quite a lot of people that don't know how to do this, or actually don't know how to do this without tools. So what we're gonna do now is make something easy. Okay, now if you're experienced with this, that's cool, and it's great that you could tie this. But there are a lot of people that don't know how to tie this, and this video is here to help them out. So we'll start out with a big hook. Okay, just so I could show you how easy this could be. Okay, we'll need a vice grip. Okay, some cutter pliers to help us cut the wire, a loop tool, wire, okay, and that's it. So start with this, make a loop. This is a very, very, very useful well, I don't know if this is a knot or what, but it's a wire wrap. There we go. So there, okay. Now most of the time, and I know this by experience, I struggled with this when I was a kid. So it's really difficult with the hooks, you know, just turning it and all that, and you'll get kind of like a Frankenstein style. Well, it looks ugly. So this is a way to make things really easy, and also very, very manageable for those that don't have much experience in making these wraps. Okay, so what I'll do is I will clamp down, because see, if it's not tight enough, it'll spring back. So I'll tighten this a little bit. Okay, and then it should be just enough so that it grips the wire securely. Okay, it doesn't need to be super tight, so you don't want to damage the wire. So what you do, okay, and this is what I've learned, you tighten these two wires as much as you could, and keep them as straight as possible, like that. Okay, okay, let me adjust the light so that you can see exactly what my hand's doing here. Okay, hopefully that's not in shadow. Okay, like that, as much as possible. And then instead of turning these, you turn this, and you could do it clockwise, you could do it anti-clockwise, but I kind of like just turning it going towards me. All right, so we'll do that. Okay, again, keep this at an angle as much as possible. Okay, and then we turn. We're doing this with a big hook now, and then we'll do it with a smaller one later on. Okay, all you have to do is just keep tension there. Okay, and we'll do 4 turns. Okay, that's 3, 4. Okay, on the 4th, you bend that 90 degrees, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, at that point you can break it off by just making a crank handle. Okay, putting your finger there, see that? Okay, just prop it against that, and then that's it. So as you can see, it's very, very clean. Now if I did this with no tools, that's fine. I mean, I've done this, I've been doing this since I was a kid, and I could do it probably as clean as this. That's not a problem. But for those that don't really have a lot of practice or whatnot, you would not believe how much this tool, just a vice grip, would be able to help you and make them super clean like that. Okay, now let's do it with a smaller hook, and I guarantee you this is easier. Okay, let me just cut a piece of wire here, like so. Okay, we don't need anything long, you know, for this. See, you know, especially with this, for me, when you're rigging like a bait or something, okay, now imagine this is pretty big. I'll be totally honest with you, this is quite big. But when scale this down to about a 7.0, this is about a 12, I believe. Scale this down to about a 7.0 and you're rigging ballyhoo for swimming baits, squid or flying fish or whatnot. And that becomes really important. The cleanliness becomes really, really important. Because when you're rigging, you don't want this to be crooked. That's for one. I mean, look at how straight that is. Okay? And when you're doing this without tools, with your hands, what happens is that you tend to kind of like flex it around, and then before you know it, it's not straight. It's all wonky. Now, pay attention also to the teardrop shape. This thing right here, it's teardrop shape. That's perfect. If you have weeds that go through the line, the teardrop shape would help shed it. If you have something like a right angle there or whatnot, or a steep angle, what happens is that the weeds tend to get stuck there if this is exposed. Now, if this is not exposed, it means that it's inside the bait. And quite a few things could happen, you know. One of the things that could happen is that it would probably be in the way of when the fish strikes, and instead of the bait just actually just, you know, tearing off, it would snag and, well, you might lose a fish. Plus, there's also that satisfaction of just making something so clean like that. Okay? The thing that I hate about this most of the time is that if it kinks, you have to straighten it. And, you know, especially with single strand wire in general, what happens if you try to straighten it out, it actually weakens. And that's what I've you know, been trying to avoid. I've made the mistakes, so not cool. Anyway, so with this, it becomes so simple. So simple. It's so fast. Okay, so let's adjust this. And a good guide here is just let it bite. Okay, adjust it more until it's just biting. Okay, now you don't have to have a looping tool, but if you have one, even better. Now this is a bit smaller, so we are going to use the smallest thing there. Okay, make that little bend. Okay, slide the hook, and although I'm using this type of hook, you could pretty much use any hook really. Again, that bend, okay, right there. What you want to do is clamp on that thing like so. Like that. Now, this is it's much better if you actually have this or have some time to actually rig this before you go fishing. If you don't have the time to rig this, I wouldn't recommend doing this while you're on the boat. But hey, you know, if you're just starting out, that's pretty much what you do before you go fishing. Okay, so now let's do this. Again, you have to angle it like so. Now, when I'm rigging baits, what I do is to hold on to the bait and then use my finger to put that angle there. But if you're using tools, since you have a better hold, okay, you can actually use these fingers here to hold it steady, and this one here, both your thumb and index finger, okay, you can hold that steady. You can hold it steady, but don't grip it. Okay, you could just see, I mean, you could just pretty much do it like that. Okay, so let's do that. Just hold it steady. Okay, now 4 turns. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then bend it out 90 degrees, and then 4 times as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now again, make a crank handle, push it forward just like that, and there we go. Look at how clean that thing is. Okay, it's very simple. This vice grip trick has saved me a lot of stress, and it doesn't really damage the wire. You could see the teardrop shape there is just formed so well. And this is why these tools, these two here, they're some of my favorites for wire working. Okay, now some people do 3, some people do 4. That's up to you. It's a preference thing. If you want it a bit low profile, maybe you could do 3. You know, if you want it extra security. The main thing here is that these wraps make this whole thing strong. The barrel rolls or barrel wraps, they just basically keep this from unraveling. That's it. Okay, or keeping the shape, and you know, just for added security. So you could do 2 or 3, it doesn't really matter. 4, just for added security. But the wraps themselves are the ones that make this really strong. Okay, so that's it for now. Thanks so much for watching. If you haven't yet, please subscribe.